Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now. I say, hey now and a hey now. Hour number 3 of the Line Talk 99.5. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to you. So glad you're here. Thank you to Damian Mitchell for stopping on by. We sure appreciate that. Had a good old time. A little awkward at first, but hey, that's what this show's about. It's about being awkward. We're supposed to have Murphy call in. I think he said about 12:15, so we may take an early break just to get him in here and give us some time to do our thing. JD Vance is actually in Middletown, Ohio, speaking to what seems to be, I don't know, is it construction workers, coal miners, or something? What do you think that is? People in hard hats, blue collar Americans. Let's go to that just for a minute, just see what we got.
So you're going to have to, that's going to be it. Because I'm going to talk about steel. I'm going to talk about America's comeback. I'm going to talk about the fact that this is a great day to be a resident of Middletown, Ohio. This is a great day to be right here in southwestern Ohio. And you all know my story. I look at what you all are wearing, and I remember my papaw going to work in an outfit not all that different and coming to this very place to work for nearly 40 years as a welder at what was then Armco Steel. And I can't help but think about the last time a James Vance stood in this very place. He had spent nearly 40 years as a welder at Armco Steel, now, of course, Middletown Works of Cleveland Cliffs. He was not an educated man by any means, but he was a brilliant one. He was a complicated man, a man of faith who never went to church. He was an alcoholic since middle school, but he quit cold turkey as a grandfather. But if he was a complicated man on the inside, he was a man with very simple ambitions. He didn't want to get rich. He had no desire to build a business. That's not who my papaw was. His American dream was well-fed kids, a car engine to tinker with. He loved to build out cars, a lukewarm cup of coffee, never cold, never hot, and of course a donut from either Central Pastry or Milton's Donuts. That was his American dream. I went to Central Pastry today because, of course, I had to go get an ugly donut while I was in town. And the ladies behind the counter, they said, "You've lost way too much weight. What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a Central Pastry in Washington, D.C. That's what's going on." My papaw, it's funny, he voted in every election. He loved this country, but he did not care for politics. Now, back then, he said that Democrats were the party of union men, so he usually voted Democrat, but he thought way too many politicians were just plain old corrupt, and he was right. All he asked for from his political leaders was very simple. He asked that his taxes be reasonable. He asked that his community be safe. He asked that our politicians ensure that there were good jobs for men and women who are willing to work for them. And he asked that America never be asked to be the policeman of the world. Now, he was my grandfather. I called him Papaw. And he toiled in this very place to give our family the little extras, like I said, for nearly 4 decades. Now, I'm very honored because the welders of this facility made me this incredible, beautiful artisan plaque to commemorate me coming here. And those of you who don't know, Papaw was a welder, so it's particularly meaningful for me and for all the welders behind me and in front of me. Thank you all. It means a great deal. But Papaw was a welder in this place for 40 years. And today his grandson stands here as the vice president of these United States. It's an amazing thing.
That's a pretty amazing story, and I think that's what is going to give JD Vance the leg up in 2028. I mean, think about that, Bird. JD Vance is standing in the exact location, the exact warehouse where his papaw spent many decades as a welder, and now, all these years later, J.D. Vance stands there as Vice President of the United
That's
States.
pretty amazing.
That's got to be so surreal for him. Such a cool moment, man. And just the epitome of the American dream. The American dream is not always to become rich or famous or super wealthy. Everybody's American dream is different. And for his papa, as he stated, his American dream was well-fed kids and a car engine to tinker with and to make sure that his family was provided for. Cool stuff. Said he was an alcoholic from middle school till he was a grandparent when he quit cold turkey.
Yep, and my dad, he smoked for years and years and years, and one day he just said, I'm tired of it. Cigars, got rid of all his pipes, so I never took another smoke.
That's wild. Let me take this break. We can get Matt Murphy when we come back on the other side. 205-545-9950. The Murph Man coming up next. All right, let's do it. It's that time of day. Well, it's a little later than that time of day, but this man can come and go as he pleases because he is rock star status. That is the one and only Matt Murphy. Hello.
What is up, fellas?
What's
up, man?
What's happening, dude?
I don't know it. It's Friday. It's a little bit cooler in these parts of the southeast. I don't know how it is down there in the Ham, but we're feeling good, ready to go.
Yeah, man. It's almost like football season's almost here.
Oh, I know, man. I cannot wait. It's a week from tomorrow, Andrew.
Oh, is it really? I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
that
week
close.
0. I mean, the games will suck, but whatever. It's week 0, a week from tomorrow. I'm very excited. High school football's already started back. It's that time of year. Absolutely love it. I watched this kid that y'all are getting, Andrew, for the Vols out of that Baylor school in Chattanooga. I don't know if you watched any of this. He was on ESPN2 last night. Did you see this?
Are you talking about the running back?
Yeah.
I saw a clip of it, yeah.
That little man-child, that little, he was playing against Brentwood Academy, which is a top-ranked team. Like, these are no slouches. And he just popped off, like, I think 259 all-purpose yards, 217 yards on the ground. They were, like, knocking his helmet off, and he was still gaining 10 yards after the hit. It was insane.
And he's committed to Tennessee, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
The ball's got him, boy.
Which means nothing in this day and age until you actually get him in the door. But, I mean, we'll see how that plays out. So he's a senior?
He is a senior and ready to go for next season. I believe he's 2027 class.
And then on the other side of the ball was, you said Brentwood, which is Peyton Manning's son got a few snaps, didn't he?
He did, yes. I forget the kid's name, but he got in the game and seemed to be doing pretty well too.
Was it Marshall? Is it Marshall Manning? No, I can't remember his name either.
Feels right. I can't remember.
But I knew as soon as I saw him jogging after the play, I was like, oh yeah, that's Peyton Manning's kid.
Right.
You could tell.
That's right. He looks unathletic as hell and doesn't belong until he slings that arm. And you go, oh yeah, that's a Manning. That's a Manning.
Hopefully he turns out to be good. I mean, and the Manning in Texas, I mean, he's good, but I think people overhyped him a little bit. Hopefully this kid, which I don't think he graduates till like 2030, right? So it's going to be a while before we see him.
Yeah, I think freshman, sophomore, something like that. Hey, Andrew, real quick, and I don't want to bog your show down with this question, but I'm just curious, has Bird gotten his cease and desist letter yet?
I'm not sure. What's the cease and desist for?
Yeah, something. My buddy Jay St. Clair asked me about it.
Oh, Jay.
Something about name, image, and likeness, representing a Southern attorney in a way that.
Oh no.
Like, something about an old Southern lawyer. I don't really understand it, but Jay was asking me.
The old country lawyer, I think you're speaking of.
Yeah, I don't know the man very well.
You don't know the old country lawyer, John?
No. I refuse to be on the program with him at the same time.
Yeah, they're never in studio at the same time for some reason.
That's weird. Well, yeah, someone asked. Jay was asking me if I knew how to get the old country lawyer some communication. I feel like John Bird was the best way to do it, but
yeah, I can probably get it to him. No, I can probably get it to him.
He was actually, the old country lawyer was on the podcast last night, and people kept sending you're familiar with super chats where people basically donate money via YouTube. People kept donating super chats and telling the old country lawyer to take shots, and he didn't turn it down, and he got a little
rambunctious, shall we say.
It was so loud. When he would speak, it was so loud. It just echoed throughout the entire facility. And I was like, country lawyer, please use your inside voice. Well, I can't. I do declare. I think I got a buzz. And it was crazy.
Old country lawyer reminds me of if Colonel Sanders and Foghorn Leghorn had sexual relations and had a baby. That's what would come out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the old country lawyer is a fan of
Colonel Sanders.
Sanders.
He's not.
He calls him a well-known racist.
Yeah, he says he's racist.
And he defends, the downtrodden.
He's very popular in the black community.
I feel like old country lawyer, grew up at a time where it was pretty normal. After you have some court in the morning, you go to lunch, you have yourself a 3 bourbon lunch.
Yeah.
And then get back after it after the 3 bourbon lunch. I feel like that's right up his alley.
Well, and I hope I'm quoting him right, but he says to confirm that he himself is not a racist. He says, "I am not a racist. As a matter of fact, I have a black driver named Toby."
That's right.
And so that's his proof that he's not racist.
Matt, I've got a present for you, Matt. I've been waiting.
What do you got, John?
I put together a little something for you. Damien's got his great energetic jingle, and I put together a little something for you. I just wondered if you'd listen to it and see if it was okay for us.
Wait, you're saying you put together a theme song for Matt Murphy for when he comes on the show?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh,
he deserves it. So anyway, here we go.
There's a fellow that they call Matt Murphy. He left Alabama for Tennessee. And though he graces Nashville with his presence, he still finds time to talk to all us peasants.
That's great. That's fantastic.
So that's your new theme song there, Murph.
I like that.
John, I don't think about Birmingham that way. That's mean. I love everybody in Birmingham. I mean, just because I think of you as beneath me doesn't mean I think of the audience as beneath me.
Well, the audience is it's always behind me. So
they're an extension of John Bird.
Yes.
So they love you. They love you dearly, John.
Oh, stop it, Matt.
I know they do, and that's very kind of you. That's very sweet. I appreciate that song and the spirit that it was written.
Yes.
Thank you for it.
That was very catchy.
I'm getting a little teared up here.
Yeah, everybody's got their own theme song. You've never heard Damien's theme music? Do you want to hear that?
I would love it. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
This is Damien's theme song for when he comes in.
Yeah, David. Damian Mitchell, BM6. Damian Mitchell, DN6. He the king of sports. He don't do no politics. Damian Mitchell, DM6.
So that's his jam.
Pretty good, John. That's pretty good.
Now, I wanted to keep yours because I know you love old country like me. So I wanted to keep your jingle in the spirit of that.
Yeah, I mean, mine's got that spirit, that country vibe, and with Damien, you've got kind of more of that urban feel going
country,
on. Yeah. I dig it. That little bro country, like Florida Georgia line. Yeah, I feel it.
I will say, Damien broke this news on the show, but his new wife is going to be one of the pilots in the flyover this weekend for the Freedom 250 Indy race in D.C.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. She is absolutely going to be one of the pilots.
That's awesome. Damien's, I mean, talk about a man that outkicked his coverage. I mean, as much as we love Damien Mitchell, I mean, my goodness.
No kidding.
What are you talking about?
That's pretty wild.
I mean, we all did. I mean, we all outkicked our coverage.
That is true.
Well, not John, but
John's football is still on the tee.
Yeah, my favorite team left me.
The backup quarterback is still holding onto the football, waiting for John Bird to kick.
That's right. John Bird's still waiting for the punter to get to the ball.
It's been fourth down for a long time, and they're like, "No, John Bird, you can have a seat. We're not gonna be kicking the ball."
What's going on in the Ham? What's the big news down there, y'all?
It's been kind of, we get in these cycles where there's the news of the day just kind of repeats itself, and you get stuck with obviously the stuff in Iran's been going on. We've got this Lindsey Clancy deal, which I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to it, but over the past few days we've latched on, and that's a bizarre story. As I guess they're wrapping up the trial today, or like closing arguments, but John Bird is fully convinced that the husband did all this.
Oh yeah.
That the husband what?
That the husband killed the kids, and I guess threw Lindsey Clancy out the window. I don't know.
No, you're trying to be silly, but I've got proof.
Yeah, all right. Well, the old country lawyer had a theory on it last night too. I don't even remember what it was though.
I don't think he remembered after he said it.
But have you been watching that? I mean, what's your thoughts?
I have. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm like you. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it when the case came down. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it until it kind of ramped up in the public consciousness. And honestly, it was on social media where I saw people commenting about postpartum depression, and everybody was talking about postpartum depression like they were experts on it. And the difference between postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis and yada, yada, yada. Here's my completely non-expert take on all of this. I understand postpartum depression is a thing. I understand that people being mentally insane is a thing. And I understand that those two things can come together and cause someone to do something evil like this. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the person that is going through all of that isn't responsible in some way for what they've done. And I find it fascinating that people are rallying to this woman and claiming that she's, innocent, or not guilty of the charges against her because she had postpartum issues going on. Somebody's got to be held responsible for the death of the 3 innocent children. That's the bottom line. And I don't pretend to understand what I don't understand. I'm trying to be better about that. So I don't know where postpartum depression becomes some sort of psychotic episode where the person doesn't understand right from wrong. And I hope the jury gets it right. It's one of these rare cases where I'm just going to lean on the jury system to try to get it right. But I don't think all that yelling and screaming outside of the courtroom is doing it any good.
Well, and that's where I'm a sucker for a good conspiracy, right? But my problem is where I have a conflict is I see the type of people that are outside the courtroom wearing pink in support of Lindsey Clancy, which are mostly white liberal women, and I don't want to find myself associated with those people. So it's automatic. It's like, okay, so those are the people that think this, and this happened. So that's got to be the wrong answer. But at the same time, I mean, she was given a cocktail of drugs that would have put down a horse, and it's like, no wonder she snapped,
Well, and nobody forced her to take those drugs, right?
Yeah.
Right? So,
well,
I understand. I mean, if we want to go about, if we just want to, and I'm not coming at you, Andrew, but I would say if we just want to blame exterior circumstances for every negative thing that happens in our lives and every negative action that we take in our lives, I'm sure that we can do that. Right. I'm sure that I can tell you how my blood pressure medication caused me to kill John Bird in a fit of rage or whatever it might be, just as an example.
It's like I just wrote you a song, man.
But so I get it that we want to blame big bad pharma, but at some point, aren't we responsible for what we put in our own bodies?
Yeah, you are. And I think there's she is responsible for that, but I think society, and this is from generations and generations of people just 100% completely trusting doctors, I don't think people need to be, overly skeptical about the medical field, but at least make it normal to do a little bit of your own research.
14 medications in 4 months, different medications. And I've been on several of those, and I know they make you crazy.
Yeah, just look at John Bird.
Well, we're right, John. Well, and then that begs the question, John, have you ever killed anybody?
When I was a younger man, I could be rambunctious. When I was a younger man.
Yes, he has said multiple times before, I once killed a man.
I don't like to talk about
I
that.
mean,
Let's talk about something else.
well, I mean, and I'm not saying I'm not suggesting that I'm better than anybody else. And as a matter of fact, I would suggest that I'm quite worse than most people. But I will say this: that I am 50. I'm about to be 53 years old. I take a multivitamin in the morning and a melatonin at night, and that's it. Right? I was on blood pressure medication. I decided I want to lose 35 pounds, get off blood pressure medication, and I did. Now, I'll say this. My grandpa, when he was 75 years old, called me. My grandpa was taking 12 pills. He calls me one day, true story, Andrew, and he says, I'm tired of taking all these damn pills. I'm just going to go ahead and stop. I'm like, what? And he said, I'm just going to go ahead and stop taking all this medicine. And he's like a diabetic. He's like a type 2 diabetic. He's like, Pa, I don't think that's a good idea. You're on heart pills. You're on a diabetes medication. He goes, I'll handle all that. Dude stopped taking all of his medicine, monitored his blood sugar, lived another 11 years. So you're right. We are overprescribed. I mean, no, it's a fact. We are completely overprescribed as a nation, and we do need to question your doctor about their relationship with the pharmaceutical industry, because the pharmaceutical industry is in the business of what? Selling drugs, right?
Yeah.
So I almost can't blame them. But anyway, boys, I hate to tell you something, but I got to go. It's time.
Yeah. Well,
It's time.
It's a crazy situation, but listen, we appreciate you hanging out with us per usual. Let's do it again next week. And
I love you guys. I'm sorry I was late today. I'm going to go back and watch Old Country Lawyer. I heard that it was a spectacular episode, and not just because John Bird wasn't in it.
Oh, even the cover photo for that video was phenomenal. So it really said, I'm sending it to you now. Yeah. It's great. So, all right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, man.
See you, Murph.
See you, Coles. There's Matt Murphy. Let me send him this picture real quick. I was so proud of that cover photo from last night.
It did turn out quite well.
Yeah, Gary did have to change it. He did have to take the white powder off from under our nose.
Yeah, I figured.
Because they've got so many trolls, they're under a microscope, so any little thing is going to get dinged for them. Not like us. We're still flying under the radar. So, all right, 205-545-9950. Let's hit it. Get back on the other side. Lots of headlines coming your way. 205-545-9950. 545-9950. Text line. Jerry says the human is an animal, although a very evolved animal. When any other animal goes nuts and kills someone, much less 3 small children, that animal is put down. At the very least, if this woman did this, she should spend the rest of her life in jail. Take that, John Bird, an old country lawyer.
Well, you still got to look at the husband.
He does act very suspicious.
Yes. I mean, it can be more complicated than that. Was he working with the doctor? You know, I mean, I've had to confront doctors before and say, I'm not taking this crap. Well, I'll recommend if I'm going to keep writing prescription for this one over here, you have to, you know, I mean, I've walked out of a doctor's office before.
Well, the defense has rested in that case, and I guess the prosecution, maybe they've rested as well. I believe that, or maybe the prosecution, I don't know. But nothing's going to happen until the first of next week. So we'll see how that plays out. That'll be obviously a big story kicking us off at the beginning of the week. Couple of quick things before we go back to the phones. Tulsi Gabbard shared an emotional update on her husband a couple days ago about his 1 in a million bone cancer battle. And she just talks about how they had some surgery. She said they had a difficult choice, extremely invasive surgery to remove the bottom portion of his sacrum tailbone or radiation. They chose the surgery and moved quickly. The operation lasted nearly 8 hours under heavy anesthesia. She described the immediate aftermath as frightening as Abraham's body reacted to the drugs. Yet that same night, he refused narcotic pain medication and insisted on getting up and walking, throwing up as he forced himself to take steps. So he's a tough cookie. Weeks later came the best news. Pathologists and doctors confirmed they were confident they had cut out all the cancerous bone and tissue. And nearly 3 months after, Abraham is in rigorous physical therapy. He gets frustrated, wanting faster progress, and sometimes pushes too hard. But Tulsi Gabbard said he is progressing very well. Yeah, see, I can understand with that kind of situation. I understand her saying, you know, I can't balance. I can't just leave my husband to, you know, her husband wouldn't be fending for himself, but she would have to rely on somebody else to take care of him.
Yeah, and a situation like that, support can be life-saving.
Yeah.
You know, because mentally you've got to be in the right mind to fight something like this.
But now that she's out of the game, does she try to run for president again? This time as a Republican?
I don't know. Maybe she's done with public life.
You know, at the end of the day, I say, you know, it's obviously when it comes to politics, when it's an open year, when you're not, when you don't have an incumbent, which we won't, it'll be a brand new person no matter what. You have a ton of people putting their hats in the ring on both sides. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, why Republicans, why even waste your time? Just let JD do it. Marco Rubio is VP. Because Marco Rubio is a huge asset. I've been so impressed with him since becoming part of this administration. I was not necessarily impressed with him before, but traditionally people would say the vice president doesn't really hold a whole lot of power and doesn't do a whole lot, right? He's just kind of there as a placeholder if something happens to the president. Trump proves that that doesn't have to be the case. You can make your vice president a very active and important member of the cabinet and use their talents, which I think is what J.D. Vance would do with a vice president, Marco Rubio. So, I mean, J.D. Vance is just getting an absolute, clinic for him to be able to learn from the best and continue to make America great again. I love it. I love it. And I'm behind JD Vance 100% at this point. Things can change, but I think JD Vance is the guy. Bubba Rumble, what's up, buddy?
Fun King Friday, Hey Now Nation in the hezzy, dude.
Hey now.
All right, I got to clear a couple things out of the memory banks here. Then I want to talk about this Clancy trial. First and foremost, yesterday, I apologize to my fellow Gen Xers and all for not being able to recall this name, and Jay Bizzle will know what I'm talking about. We were trying to figure out who that cartoon dog that went was, and it hit me when I was out doing yard work a couple hours later. It was Muttley. Jay Bizzle, it was Muttley.
Muttley. Are you sure it wasn't Precious Pop?
No, it was Dick Dastardly's sidekick.
Dick Dastardly.
Muttley.
Yes. Okay, yes.
See, you introduced Dick Dastardly to the equation, and my mind was working, and I didn't even know it. And I even sended you a gift on the fake books just to let you know that I was still thinking about it.
Dick Dastardly sounds like an Anthony Weiner screen name, or maybe like
totally, dude.
Eric
or like
Swalwell login
Romney
for Backpage.com.
Totally, dude. And you remember them most from the Wacky Races, man. I loved me some Wacky Races when I was a kid.
Oh, man, yes.
All right, so cartoons are important. We had to talk about that. And talking about Facebook, ever since, I didn't even use Facebooks for years until I figured out it would be a good way to page stock Andrew and Bizzle. And now I get a lot of stuff running through my feed from over y'all's way. And this one came across today. I hadn't seen this place yet, but listen up, my fellow fishermen over in Alabama. The Prattville Farm Center, apparently wifey, found hubby's stash of Spro crankbaits hidden in the back of the store there somewhere. She's got a whole bin of them out there for $5 a piece. And if y'all know anything about Spro crankbaits, $5 a piece is a heck of a deal. Y'all better go gobble them up.
Wait a minute. What do you mean she found them and now she's selling them? Is it?
That's a post. That's the post that he put on there. And I don't know. Did the signal hit Prattville?
Well, not right now, but you may be able to get a little bit of it. I take that back. We start falling out after around Clanton, so we don't make it that far.
So, it's a husband-wife store. They got hunting stuff, fishing stuff, farm stuff, horse tack, goat feed, all that stuff. But anyway, it sounds like my kind of store. But yeah, it was a pretty funny post where he was kind of joking around where wifey found his stash of crankbaits and she put them off for sale for $5 a piece. And I'm going to tell you, for a Spro crankbait for $5 a piece, I'm tempted to hop in the car and drive to Alabama right now.
Yeah, that's an amazing price.
Hey, Andrew, actually, it says Prattville's only 73 miles away.
You're
on a good day, yeah, we should get to him. Not now, right now. But.
Let's see.
If the antenna was working right, man, you guys got to get Crank out there and get that thing fixed up, man.
Yeah, Crank needs to crank it up.
He was going to work on the tower, but then he got high.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that Prattville Farm Center sounds like my kind of place. So I get a lot of interesting stuff coming across my feed ever since we started cross-mogenating on there.
There's I was going to say, I don't mean to sidetrack you, but I've got one I'm going to send you, and I'm going to send you one of his videos, but you got to click on his profile and go to his reels. His name's Matty McTech, and he gives out like some fascinating websites that you've never heard of. Like, for one, it's a website. Has your vehicle been searched by flock cameras? You can check with your license plate number, and it will tell you if law enforcement checked flock cameras to look at your vehicle, how many times they did it, the reason they did it, what agency it was, and like a lot of freaking details. So go through that guy's stuff.
Yeah, it had already came across my feed because of you, and I tell you what, I don't know if I want to look that up because it's just going to piss me off even more if I found out I've been being surveilled for no reason. You know what I mean? But that's good. That's an important tool. We need to have some clarity, on that company because people's rights are just getting violated like crazy on that thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad.
And in this Lindsey Clancy trial, it's disturbing enough as it is. But, I don't even do the TikToks, but these videos are going viral already from these psycho chicks with their babies sitting there filming themselves crying over this trial, talking about, I know how you felt, Lindsay. And it's like we got a bunch of babies that are in danger all across America.
Yes,
from what I can tell. You know what I mean?
Have you seen these videos, Bird, where it's like some mom and she's like in a bathroom crying her eyes out, talking about how she understands how Lindsay Clancy feels.
Oh, dang.
And it's like, get
Danger.
Child Protective Services over there right now.
Here come the psychos out of the woodwork.
One of them, at least one of them already has had a visit from CPS because she was getting real dark about it. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're that much of a psycho where you think putting videos on the TikToks about you wanting to kill your baby because it pisses you off so bad is a good idea, then, you're not fit for motherhood.
No, not at all.
And then, country lawyer has, I'm telling you, we need to hear his takes on this trial because we need the brilliant mind of the country lawyer to help us sort this out. But, his cohort, Jay Bizzle, was bringing up some interesting facts, too, about how bombed out of her mind on all these SSRIs that Lindsay chick was, and it's almost as bad as what these Hollywood doctors do to these celebrities. Man, they had her on a chemical cocktail that would make anybody flip out.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt, dude. There's a lot of questions, and all of them are getting brought up in court by the defense. But it's like Murphy said, it's kind of one of these situations where you're just gonna have to go with what the jury says. I mean, it's hard to piece it together.
But what do you think? Did she do it or did her husband do it? And this is just opinion. We're not the jury.
I don't know. I think it's more likely that she flipped out and that she legitimately doesn't remember doing any of it. But who knows what role her husband had in it? Maybe he did assist in this some way because all the timing and I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I change my mind.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's the only person the defense can try to scapegoat for this, so they're going to come at him with everything they got.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt.
But,
well,
the only honorable defense attorney in this here fine country of ours is the country lawyer, I must say.
That's the truth.
That's right.
All right, boys. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good weekend. Hey now.
No.
Yeah. Again, the more I think about it, the more I change my mind. I go back and forth because the husband acts super suspicious, but at the same time, it could be just as simple as being overprescribed, and somebody's got to pay for it. At the end of the day, there's 3 kids that are dead. All right. Lindsay Clancy's life's already screwed up. She's paralyzed. She can't do nothing for herself. And
I still think, even after the fact, with the verdict and everything already done, they need to check into the healthcare system of the doctor that was prescribing those.
Well, that's why this is an important trial, because it needs to start a bigger conversation about overprescribing and the influence pharmaceutical companies have on decision making from doctors, because there's a lot of people out there that still just 100% will trust their doctor. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and I know everybody's like, "Oh, my doctor's the best. My doctor's the best." But, your doctor's also human, and your doctor may be given bad information and think they're doing the right thing, but not be doing the right thing. So, all right, let's go. 205-545-9950. More on the line coming up right after this. Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah, a little more Leo. I like me some Leo, more Celli.
I mean, we could literally just use Leo on all of our songs.
He's got so much great stuff.
I mean,
we need to have a Leo Fun King Friday one day.
We can do that. Let's do that next week.
All right,
let's
let's
do
do
all Leo songs because he's got a library of freaking every song you could think of. He's covered. Real quick, as we're talking about trials, the Carmelo Anthony trial. Couple things to point out as they're trying to get a new trial with the appeals process and everything else. One, Carmelo Anthony's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend that was talking about how much of a sweet and wonderful boy he was after this all happened and was doing the GoFundMe. She actually had broken up with him just hours before the stabbing and told the office that he was stalking her. And she feared, I guess, for her safety. But then in another text message that was revealed, Carmelo Anthony told somebody that he was feeling like he wanted to stab someone and lick the blood off the knife. Not directly related to Austin Metcalf, but he showed behavior that would have led you to believe he would do something like this. Oh, and he had behavioral issues over the years. That too.